Hey everyone, it's Road to Retire, and as of today, October 1st, 2023, I have reached 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much to everyone for following along, and as a special treat today, we are going to be covering in this video the 25 side hustles that I have personally used to make over $30,000 in my lifetime. I'm going to be talking about each and every one individually, my pros and cons, and would I recommend doing it in 2023. So hope you enjoy the video. There's going to be some repeats, going to be some new ones that I haven't talked about in this channel. So without delaying, and again, thank you for 10,000 subs. Let's get into the video. All right, let's get right into it. In true Road to Retire fashion, I'm going to be doing all of these in one single take, no editing, no nothing. And everyone who's already subscribed to me knows that I am very blunt, very honest, very transparent with everything side hustle related and my journey to early retirement. So the first one, I just talked about thanking everyone for making my dream of 10,000 subscribers a reality. And let's talk about YouTube income. So for those of you who don't know, who are newer to my channel, who only followed the Road to Retire side, about 2017-ish, I had it was this YouTube channel, but it was branded as a dividend investing channel. So a majority of my YouTube income came from my dividend investing channel. At the time, I was called Dividend Grinder. I also changed to Degenerate Dividends, and I had a podcast, but we'll get into the podcast later. But I was a dividend investor, and I think of this $4,579, probably about 3,000 of that was during the Dividend Grinder days. I have since unlisted all of those videos to try and feed the algorithm to only focus on side hustles for my channel, and hopefully, it recommends old videos. And I think that has been working ever since I delisted my dividend investing videos. My former videos on like DataAnnotation.tech and Remotasks have been constantly getting views despite me not promoting them at all. So just an FYI, keep your channel niche focused, whatever niche that is. Don't try to sprout off and do 100 things, because I think it confuses the algorithm, and your old videos won't do as good as they could possibly be. So in my opinion, YouTube, at least of the 25 that I'm showing here, is probably the most scalable and probably the best side hustle on this entire list. But I know it's not for everyone, so let's get into the very next one. But yes, I would recommend YouTube if you're thinking about going that direction. Can be extremely lucrative. I'm right now, in this very moment, I'm averaging about $485 a month, and I haven't been posting as frequently as I should be. So I'm trying to get back into it, and I just got a new day job, so I've been focusing on that. Haven't been really focusing on side hustles at all, but I'm getting settled in now, so I want to focus more on YouTube and side hustles. So let's dive into number 2. So this is Amazon Mechanical Turk, and I've talked about this on my channel in a couple videos, but this is the side hustle that I have earned the most from of the 25. So lifetime, I think going back like 5 or 6 years, I've been doing Amazon Mechanical Turk, something like that. I always forget the date. $8,348 from Amazon Mechanical Turk. So if you don't know what this is, mturk.com, essentially you're doing all these little micro tasks. So you could also do surveys. You could do stuff where they say which of these images would be more enticing for you to click on, and then you write a sentence on why. It's like, hey, look at this webcam. Do you like this packaging or this packaging better? Select one, write a sentence why. You'll get paid like 10 cents for it. Stuff like that. There's surveys. There's a bunch of other little tasks. There's annotation tasks that you can do. There's a lot of different tasks on Mechanical Turk. Transcription, there's receipt reading. But unfortunately, Amazon Mechanical Turk, I've earned a lot of money from it. It's just gone downhill, and it's very hard to get consistent, solid work. You can still make money on it, but I mean, I was making prime money in like 2019, 2020-ish. I think on this year in 2023, I'm on pace for like $700 total, but like it's going down and down and down. The peak is definitely over. It's getting harder and harder just to earn like $100 a month. You can, but it's almost like a full-time job just to get to that $100 a month. I have a bunch of videos on Mechanical Turk if you want to see what it looks like on the channel. I would not recommend for 2023 if you're trying to make serious income. Let's get into the next one. The next one is the Amazon Influencer Program. This one is brand new to me as of May 2023. And as you can see, $2,713 for something that's pretty much brand new is awesome. So what is the Amazon Influencer Program? Basically, you do review videos of a product that sells on Amazon. And if the person is scrolling on their product page and they watch at least 30 seconds of my video and then they go on to purchase the product or a similar product or not even a non-related product, but they just watched my full video like a minute ago or so, I will get a commission of that sale. So started in May, already at $2,713. It has been awesome. I've reviewed everything that I possibly could in my house. Anything from a pen and a pencil all the way to my outdoor furniture and my wife's computer desk. And the bigger stuff, like I mentioned in the latter half of that, like my wife's computer desk and the outdoor furniture, has been my big money makers. Those two products alone have probably made up about $1,800 of this $2,700. But the only downside to the Amazon Influencer Program is the admission to get in there. You need some kind of following. Because I have this YouTube channel, I was able to get into the program. But you need a following on like TikTok or YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You need some kind of following in order to get into the program, because from their perspective, from Amazon's perspective, is that they want to take people that already have an audience and push their products. It's basically like a ground roots marketing effort, and they pay you in commission. So I understand why they do it. But I also understand why they are kind of limiting the amount of people that can make review-based, commission-based videos. So if you can get into the program, this is probably the second best of the 25 that I have on this list. Probably the second best side hustle that you can get into. Just like YouTube, it's very scalable and you can make a lot of money if you take it very serious. It's just hard to get into. Let's go on to the next side hustle. Prolific. This is a pure survey website, $1,068. Now I have a video dedicated to Prolific in itself. It's no BS review, Prolific. So if you're interested on just seeing a video on this website, you can click on that video and watch. But I've earned over $1,000, and in my opinion, it's probably the best survey money site out there. The problem is they're very finicky. I don't know what happens. All of a sudden, they just cut me off from doing surveys. I have not gotten a single rejection. I don't use a VPN, and I don't lie about my demographics. It's not like I said like, oh, hey, like I'm all of a sudden a 70-year-old female or something like that from Costa Rica. I don't know what happened. Because it's like, I understand if like you're lying, like if you say in your demographics when you sign up that you're like a 40-year-old male, and all of a sudden in these surveys you're saying you're 22 female and black or something, it's like, I can understand why they would cut you off, but I haven't done any of that. There's no reason for me. If I earned $1,000 from the site, why would I need to lie? I'm clearly making good money. And the worst part about it is they don't tell you what you did wrong or what it is. They just say like, sorry, we can't go into details at this time. Your account is closed. It's like, what the hell? And I've sent multiple emails complaining about it. Obviously, I've not heard back. So Prolific can be awesome. I highly recommend you sign up. There's probably a wait list because there's a ton of people that know about Prolific now that haven't before. Everything gets paid in pounds because it's a British program, I believe. But the USD conversion isn't a problem. It does it automatically for you. Don't have to worry about it or try and like cash out euros or anything like that. It automatically does translation to PayPal. Awesome survey site. It's probably a long time to get in there now, and if there's a long wait list, is it worth it? I don't know how long it would take to get out of that. The next one, let's move along here. Connect. This is also a survey site very similar to Prolific. Connect has been on, I believe, a majority of, it was an offshoot of Mechanical Turk. They used to put a bunch of surveys on Mechanical Turk, and now they have branched off and done their own website. Now I know it's very small, $32, but this is growing. This $32 has been earned like this month. So not big money, not very scalable, but I have been able to cash out. The minimum is $5 to PayPal. I've been able to cash out, and I have no issues cashing out. Sometimes the surveys take a little bit longer to get approved than I would like to see. Like a lot of the surveys I do on Mechanical Turk get approved in 1 to 2 days. I've seen ones as long as like 10 days on Connect. So just an FYI, it's not going to be immediate instant money, but you can make money on this. I would recommend the Connect site if you are looking for just a little bit of pocket change here and there. I think their platform is easy to understand and the interface is good. I don't have any cons except for the fact that you're not going to make a lot of money on this. Don't expect to make a lot of money yet, but if you're looking to make like $20 a month on top, just doing easy surveys, then I would highly recommend the Connect participant application for participants. So we move on to the next one as my mouth gets really dry. Coin Hunt World. So this one is an interesting one. So this is an app that is kind of similar to Pokemon Go, if you know what that is. So it's like a geo-based game where it interacts with like your real life location. And in this case, you would try to unlock vaults with keys. And when you would go to a vault, put the key in virtually, it would ask you a trivia question. And if you got the trivia question right, you would receive some money in form of cryptocurrency. And towards the end of it, it became more of like the more you walk, the more keys you can get and the more vaults you can open, which for me, I took it serious. So of this 547, probably about 400 of it was when they switched to like a walking based incentive plan. And I went all out. I was doing like 5 to 10 miles a day of walking, getting a ton of keys, able to open as many vaults as I want. You were able to place user vaults if the location was approved by the servers, or by the admins, I should say. So the park by my house had like a 2-mile loop, and I was able to place 10 volts. And every single day I was able to get like it's like $2 minimum of cryptocurrency. And then I would do this little driving route around my house, like in a 5-mile radius. And I was able to make like $7 to $10 a day just doing these stupid little trivia questions and walking. And I took it serious for whatever reason. I had the time. And since then, though, it has been completely nerfed. It is very, very hard to make any kind of money out of the site. And I understand why. Apparently, they came out and said like they're flat out hemorrhaging a lot of money. They're not making any profit, and they're just dishing out a lot of crypto. I think early on, people were abusing it by kind of taking public transport systems when it wasn't walking based. It was more like driving and location based. People were just like hopping on the bus, and they had like, free bus passes or whatever. People just don't have jobs. These were like teenagers or whatever. And they would get a crap ton of crypto every day just from riding on the bus and answering questions. So I can't recommend Coin Hunt World now in 2023. You'll be hard pressed to even make $5 out of the app. Let's move on to number 7. This one is going to be crypto mining. Not many people know that I actually tried to do some crypto mining. I tried to mine, I believe it was Litecoin, and I did this in 2021 and for about 2 months, and I got a little over $300 in 2 months. The problem was like my PC was just getting super hot because all I did was mine for my desktop PC. This was more of like a curiosity thing to me. Like, could I just leave my PC running all day and all night, let it mine, and could I make some kind of decent money? Now the electricity bill went up about $40 per month the 2 months that I did it. So you're looking at an $80 spike in electricity, but I guess you could say it's like a $220 profit. So you can make money, at least you could, when the price of Litecoin was still decent. Was it Litecoin or Ethereum? I don't know. Anyway, I think everyone has kind of tapped out of the crypto mining that tried to, like me, casually go into it, just, try it for a month or two and see what could happen. You can make money, but if you want to make like a crypto farm, you need a crap ton of PCs and processors and stuff, the graphics chips and all that crap that I have no idea. And you need like, you know, ventilation, and you could probably do it better if you had a solar farm. Like if you want to make a living out of crypto mining, then you need all the boxes checked, and you need like a perfect scenario. And if the coin prices go down, you could end up losing money. So I wouldn't recommend unless you have a lot of money to play with and you kind of want to say, or if you have a deep faith that crypto is going to keep rising in price. I wouldn't recommend it, but it was an option. I did make money off of it, so I can't say that it's terrible or anything. You're better off doing crypto mining than you are Coin Hunt World. Both are crypto related, but I am not doing it anymore, and I don't foresee myself doing it in the future. The next one is consulting. So this is brand new. And what do I mean by consulting? So early on in this video, I said that I'm doing I have a new full-time day job. So my old day job actually gave me the opportunity to do some consulting for them. I'm not really acting as a consultant. I'm pretty much doing tasks that I used to do in that day job, but now I'm doing it, you know, at night or on weekends. And I'm getting a decent salary for it, but I'm not putting that many hours in it, so it's not gonna add up too much. But nonetheless, it is a nice chunk of change because this started only 2 months ago, and I'm already at $1,300. So consulting in general, like if you can get into that full-time career gig, is extremely lucrative, but you're going to be doing a lot of traveling, and you got to be a master at whatever niche that you are consulting in. I'm just considering this consulting because I believe that's like what my technical title is now at my old company, but nonetheless, I'm doing like consultant type work, but it's pretty much just the same that I was doing at the old job, just in smaller doses to help out my former boss. And it's been very lucrative. I don't mind the extra workload because, being transparent, I'm making $50 an hour, but only working, you know, like 2 to 5 hours a week. So, you know, how much are you really going to make? I only had 1 week where it's like I had a really nice paycheck because it was like 11 or 12 hours. I did like a full Saturday of work, and I got like a $622 paycheck. But other than that, it's been here, you know, hit or miss, but definitely would recommend it if you can somehow. This is why you don't burn bridges with your current job. Unless you absolutely hate it and you want nothing to do with it, and you know you want nothing to do with it, try your very best to not burn bridges at your current day job, especially if you're in a white collar position, because something like this could open up for you. I've talked to many people, many coworkers in my 10 years in white collar work, and they said they had similar things where it's like they got laid off or they quit or whatever, but they got offered a semi-consulting gig afterwards to try and make some extra money on top. So try your best not to burn bridges. Let me take a sip of coffee here because I'm doing this in one take. I'm determined. All right. Remotasks. I can't tell you the amount of times or the amount of videos I've done on this Road to Retire YouTube channel about Remotasks. So Remotasks is kind of similar to the Amazon Mechanical Turk platform, where you're doing, recently it's been a lot of chatbot help, similar to DataAnnotation.tech that we'll get into. There's chatbot, there's annotation tasks, there's technical like coding tasks that you can help if you're an expert in that. Remotasks for me, it was amazing for about 2 months. This 2,300 is about 2 to 3 months worth. So it was definitely lucrative. You got to be on the right project. You got to have good admins that are running the mod boards and whatever on that project. And if you get kicked out of the project, it can be very detrimental to your future earnings, and you might not get anything at all. So I've done a ton of videos on Remotasks. If you're interested in Remotasks, because there is still work out there and there are some very good high-paying projects out there, just click on my channel and look for Remotasks videos. There's a ton of them, 5 to 10 videos I've done on Remotasks. So if you're interested, check it out. And the next one I think is data annotation. Yeah, so this is going to be very similar to Remotasks. It's like chatbot assistance and helping and improving. There's annotation, obviously, work that you can be doing, as much of a bunch of other things. So data annotation, Remotasks, and Amazon Mechanical Turk are kind of similar, where it's like you're doing micro jobs. Data annotation seems to have a better pay structure than Remotasks. Remotasks is better with bonus incentives, much better with referral bonus incentives. Data annotation is better for like consistent payments. Very common if you're getting on a good project on data annotation to earn anywhere from $20 to $25 an hour, which for remote work at home, sitting on your butt, just working on chatbot assistance, $20 to $25 an hour is a very nice chunk of change. Data annotation, Remotasks, and Amazon Mechanical Turk are all 1099 independent contractors, so there's no W-2 work. Both of these are international. Mechanical Turk is international as well. Influencer program is starting to branch out, but it's more American-based. Prolific has international work capabilities. I'm not sure about Connect. And then Crypto and Coin Hunt are also international, but you need an Android for Coin Hunt World. At least you did. I haven't looked yet. And consulting obviously it could be anything. YouTube is obviously international, so I'll mention whether it is US based or international based if I remember right. But DataAnnotation.tech, very good. There is a little bit of a wait list, and the con to data annotation is that once you pass the starter assessment, which is like when you first sign up for the website, you'll answer a bunch of questions, do a little bit of work. It's your starter assessment package to see whether you are capable of doing the work that some of these projects are asking of you. And if you are able to hear back from them, great. Some people have not heard anything. Some people it takes weeks, even months to hear from the starter assessment task. Some people are getting it right away, like the next day they're getting assigned a project. So it's very hit or miss. There's no consistency here. I think data annotation is kind of getting a tiny bit saturated. Remotasks is definitely saturated, but DataAnnotation.tech was flying under the radar. Channels like myself, unfortunately, I've kind of thrown it out there to try and help other people, and swarms of people are coming in, and a lot of the work is getting spread a little bit thin. But I firmly believe DataAnnotation.tech is better than Remotasks if you're able to get assigned to a project. On to the next one. ACX. What is ACX? Now, I've done a video dedicated to ACX on my channel, so if you're interested in learning more in depth, but this is basically you are reading out loud an ebook. So authors will put their ebook out there, and you're essentially narrating it to the audience. So it's like if I would read off the screen into this microphone, your book, stop it, and then, record it, stop it, and then publish it. So basically, you are the audiobook narrator in ACX. And this is one of those sites where it's kind of predatory if you are unsuspecting of what the payout, of what the workload's going to be. Because it'll be like, oh, read this book, and every hour you read, you'll get like $15, say, right? And first of all, talking into a microphone for a straight up hour, no breaks. And if there are breaks, you need to be the one that's stopping and editing that. It can be a real pain in the ass. I thought I was going to like ACX a lot more than I did. The payment is not worth the struggle of like editing words together, taking breaks, reading consistently. It's not fun at all, in my opinion. If you like to read, it's like one of those things where you think you would enjoy it, but reading out loud for like enunciation and clarity, it's just not fun. It's not worth the money. It doesn't pay that well. If you get some projects, it can pay well depending on the book, the author, and how generous they want to be. But typically, any project that pays well, any well-known authors that pay their audio narrators well, there's going to be a ton of auditions, and you're going to have a really tough job landing those gigs unless you have a past resume of doing really good work. So I would not recommend ACX in 2023. Ebook, KDP. So I have written a book about horse racing, and this was like during 2015 or 16, I want to say. It's like 27 pages long, so it's a very short book, but it's like 8 by 11, so it's like tall, skinny, but like it's only 27 pages. front and back. But so there's a lot of info and there's a lot of pictures in it. But basically, my book is all about learning how to handicap horse racing. If it's like your first time going to a horse racing track to do some betting, I wrote this book to try and kind of help you out because I have a passion for horse racing, and it was something that I kind of did as a passion project. And obviously, it's only 27 pages long, front and back, with imagery. So it's not like it took me a long time, maybe like 4 to 5 hours of actual work, and I've made $374. So it's like I get paid like $1 to $3 per every sale, depending on whether it's an ebook purchase or if it's a physical copy, because Amazon will print it for you. It's just you gotta pay them for it. So it's like, even though I charge I think like $4.50 or $5 for the physical copy, Amazon takes like $3.50 to $4 from it. So I actually make more if it's an ebook sale, because there's no like physical printing or anything or shipping. So there are a lot of people who make a full-time living off making like low content or no content books, I think they call them, where it's like coloring books or connect the dot books or stuff like that, where it doesn't take like any logical thinking at all to like write the pages or any creativity to write stories or anything like that. People make thousands of dollars a month doing no content, low content books like that. So I personally have not tried that style. I think that market is also getting a little bit oversaturated, but there still is different genres of book I bet you could try. So definitely check that out. It could be a big scalable business. And what I love about stuff like ebook and like YouTube and the Amazon influencer programs, they almost have that passive income feel, where it's like you do the work up front and then you can be getting paid months in the future. I mean, I wrote the book in like 16 or 17 or 18, one of those years, and it's 2023 and I had a I have a couple copies sell this year. So it's like I'm still getting paid from that, even though I don't promote it at all, I don't market it at all, no advertising, and I still get paid for it by doing absolutely nothing. The work was done years ago. So it's the same thing with YouTube. I'm getting paid from videos that I did a while ago. Same with the Amazon influencer program. People are watching my reviews that I've done in May and June, and I'm still making commission payments or I'm still getting commission checks from that. So let's move on to the next one. Day trading. Now, I've done a podcast episode. I don't know if it's still on this channel or not. I don't know if I unlisted that one, but I tried day trading. Now, obviously, day trading is pretty much gambling straight up, and let's uncover the next one too, because they're going to be very similar. Whoops. Yeah, day trading, and the next one's going to be sports gambling, if I could actually click the white button. So obviously this is gambling, but the reason I put it is because I try to like outsmart the system. Essentially, I did things like make your focus like earning 0.5% a day. So like try to really narrow gaps. It's like sports gambling. Like I would bet like $20 on a team that was like super heavily favored to earn like $1 to $2. So, it wasn't like these like just super risky bets, but at the same time, it was still gambling. And then, how are you going to be able to keep that up? And I wasn't, because it got so boring for me. I'm rooting on heavy favorites, and you get paid like 5%. And on day trading on stocks, like on Robinhood or whatever, I lost a lot of money day trading because I was getting impatient trying to do like 0.5%. I was always chasing. It's gambling. Both of them are gambling. I don't recommend this at all. Just invest if you're going to do anything stock market related. Invest for the long run. Invest just like S&P 500 and like international funds. Divest your portfolio. Make it diverse is what I'm trying to get at. And just don't do sports gambling. You're going to lose. You're not Billy Walters. You're not going to be making millions of dollars. That's a dream. It's not going to happen. And you're going to see a lot more people, I believe, in my generation, millennial and like Gen Z and lower, have gambling addictions like I do. It's because it's more readily available. It's apps. It's everywhere in the country now. And it's going to get dangerous. And I'm telling you right now, as a degenerate gambler, just don't do it. It's not worth it. I promise. The next one is dividend investing. Now, I debated whether I wanted to put this as a side hustle or not, because I kind of had the mentality of like, I'm going to use this as like my passive income or whatever. And it kind of contributed to my financial ADHD, where I had issues like, do I want to invest in dividend investing, the house, retirement? Like, how do I want to spread out my money? And I tried to treat it as almost like a side hustle, where it's like if I put $1,000 in there, it's like passive income. Take that $20 I'm getting a month, and like I'm considering that like side hustle money. But I just like ended up selling a good piece of the portfolio, so I don't really consider to have made money from dividend investing. It can be very lucrative if it's like a long-term thing. If you're into dividend investing, check out channels like PBC Ian and Joseph Carlson. They have great dividend portfolios, great advice, and they break down the basics to you if you're interested in learning how to do it long-term. I just didn't have the patience for it, and I treated it the wrong way. And if you were a subscriber of the Dividend Grinder days and my podcast days, you realize what a mess I was with dividend investing. The next side hustle here is the Coin app. So this is also a crypto, and this one is pure geo-based, where you would, like if you walk or whatever, this little box comes up and you get a little bit of, I forget, it's the Geo coin, GEO. Or YW or XYO. I think it's XYO. I think it's like XYO coin or whatever. And everywhere you would walk in a new spot, it would like auto refresh and get you like just a little fraction of it. And if it added up over time, you would be able to cash out. And I've cashed out a total of $27. Now, early on when this app came out, and XYO token, I think it's XYO token, was like skyrocketing in price. This was actually really lucrative. I saw people on Reddit who were making like $500 a month on this app. They would get this little geolocator like token thing, and people who were like truck drivers, or they were driving an hour to work every day, like they would just add it to their car, and they would have this token that you would have to pay like $25 to $30 a month for, but it obviously would pay off because it like amplified your rewards and made the geolocation better for the app to track your location. And people were making a lot of money, but now they've kind of nerfed that a little bit. You have to pay just to get like the better rewards, and it takes a long time to get anything significant. This $27 was hard work. Didn't matter how far I walk or drove or whatever. I did try a month of paying like the $30 to get the extra rewards. Cancel that immediately. Learned that just to break even was really tough to do in my situation. So I don't recommend Coin app, and I think it's getting harder and harder to make some serious money because the token, the crypto token that backs it, has tanked in price. So unless that rebounds, then you're gonna have a really tough time making any kind of money, because like the reward is like flat. If I remember right, it's like you can get like 4,000 XYO or whatever, and it's like, so the token amount you would receive is flat. So you're kind of dependent on the price of that coin being sky high. And it was only sky high for like a period of like 4 or 5 months, and then it just tanked like pretty much every other shit coin out there. Let's move on to the next one. This is eBay. So this is selling video games that I would get on the OfferUp app and Facebook Marketplace only. That's all I'm considering on eBay. $6,893. I made a lot of money selling on eBay. I've also done Pokemon cards, graded Pokemon cards, along with the video games. And that's pretty much all I did on eBay. But very scalable, obviously. It's getting harder and harder, though, to go on sites like Facebook Marketplace, because people are a lot more cognizant of what they have, and they're not willing to sell it to you cheap. So this has been harder and harder to get inventory, and I haven't had the time because I've been working from home a lot less in this new job, so I haven't really had time to go out and meet people from Facebook Marketplace to do transactions. So a lot of this, I think like over 6,000 of this, like 6,000 to 6,500 of it was like 2 years ago, right after COVID happened, 2 to 3 years ago, where people were just trying to sell all their video games for any kind of money. And during that time, people also had the mentality of like, oh, like I have nostalgia and I'm stuck inside, so let's play video games. So you had the people who were selling their stuff for dirt cheap because they wanted any kind of money because, maybe they got let go for a little bit on their job. So I would buy it. Let's say I bought it for like $50, and then you had people, the video game market just exploded during that time because people were stuck in home. So the video game that I paid $50 for was selling for $200. So I would buy it for $50, put it on eBay, get the $200, and after fees, I would make out like $170 in profit. That's basically how it worked. The video game market has cooled off since, and it's harder to get stuff at a fair value anymore anyway from people who are just trying to get rid of it because they do the research themselves, or they just think they have a gold mine because they heard online or something that the video game market is exploding, so my stuff must be worth gold when it's really crap. It's like Madden 2007, nobody cares, and they're trying to sell it for $10 when it's worth like 10 cents. But plenty of people make a crap ton of money selling their stuff on eBay. Now, this isn't limited to eBay. If you want to try it yourself, you could sell stuff on Etsy and Mercari and all these other sites that the Amazon FBA program. You can sell anything online, but eBay was my platform of choice. I was comfortable with it, and I was able to go to the post office, which was really close to my house at the time, the old house that I lived in. So I made a lot of money on eBay, and you can make a lot of money on eBay. Just be aware that some items like video games take a huge chunk in fees, and the fees are just getting worse and worse because eBay's a public company and they got to make their investors happy. The next side hustle is going to be M1 Finance and Robinhood referrals. So this stems back to when I was a dividend investing channel, and I could have combined this maybe into the YouTube category, but I didn't because I wanted YouTube to just be money from ads and people watching my ads, because that's how you make money on YouTube unless you get sponsorships. But I did promote M1 Finance heavily, and occasionally I would promote Robinhood too when I did my dividend investing and had that channel going for me. And M1 Finance is probably like 350 of this 380. I got a lot of referrals from M1 Finance, and Robinhood was a little bit in change, so probably like $30-ish from Robinhood. Nonetheless, $380 is a nice chunk of change from just recommending a investing platform to people. And it was also nice because when they signed up, obviously it's nice that I got kickback, but they themselves would also get rewarded. So it's not like I was just taking advantage of people, making them sign up for some shit and they didn't get rewarded. No, M1 Finance at the time was like, I would get 20, if they invested $100 using my link, I would get $20 for free. They would get $20 for free. So it felt good knowing that, like, okay, they are going to get money from this transaction. It's not all one side. And Robinhood, both sides, both the referrer and referee, would get a free share of stock. So it went both ways, and that made it easier for me to promote. The next side hustle, we're at number 19 of 25, Crowdtap. Now, I've done a video on Crowdtap on this channel, so if you're interested, you can find it in my videos. But anyway, $0 because I did like 1 to 2 hours straight. I don't know. I would have to go rewatch my own video. It's basically like a survey site, and it's one of the worst that I have because it takes a long time to get up to the cash out value, which is either $3 or $5. I think it's $5 in that site. But unlike Connect, which is the same, where it's like $5 minimum to cash out, Crowdtap just took a crap ton more time to get to that threshold where it's like, it's not worth it at all. You would have to do so many surveys and dump a lot of hours just to cash out the minimum threshold of $5. I think the hour or two that I worked on the site, I got like $3 worth. And even though I should like try and grind out $2 more just to cash it out, I don't care. It's not worth it. And I'd rather do an hour of like DataAnnotation.tech and get $20 rather than waste my time to try and get 2 to cash out for $5. So Crowdtap, absolutely not worth it in the year 2023. The Spicy Dividend Podcast was a offshoot of my dividend investing channel, Dividend Grinder, when I had it. And I did this on Anchor.fm, which is now owned under Spotify podcast. At the time, Anchor.fm, when it first started out, it paid really well considering you didn't need like any parameters. Like you didn't need a set of consistent listeners. You did not need a certain amount of people listening to your podcast during a time period. It was, hey, if you get like 2 people that listen to your podcast, you can get paid for it as long as you advertise Anchor. And it was awesome. And even though it didn't pay like that much, $350 for like 5 or 6 months of podcasting, it was still really cool to make anything, and I did not need a huge audience. But since that has gone and switched over to Spotify podcast, I think they bought out Anchor. It's a lot harder to make money doing a podcast if you have a small following. You need a consistent following. You need a really big audience. And as everyone knows and can imagine, the podcast market is ridiculously oversaturated. Everyone and their mother tries a podcast nowadays, and some people, it's hard to tell what podcasts are good and not. And also the problem with podcasts is that they pretty much have to be long-term in nature, because it's usually like interviews and whatnot, or having guests on. It's like, it's not going to be like a 5-minute interview or whatever. At that point, you're just like a news station. So because podcasts are typically long form in nature, you need people that are like either like on long road trips all the time, or like they just don't do anything and they can listen to a podcast for an hour straight. Podcast, unless you're fucking Joe Rogan, it's going to be really hard to make money, and I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're just doing it for fun, like if you and your friends want to talk about sports or gambling or something like that, and you don't really care about the money, it can be fun. I've had good times doing my Spicy Dividend podcast. It was fun to do, but don't expect to make a lot of money out of it unless you somehow get a huge following. Yard sale. I have a video of the yard sale that I did this year, and I was able to make $173 selling the old video games that I don't want, and like huge bulky consoles that I did not feel like selling on eBay because the fees and the, big shipping boxes and shipping labels, I just didn't feel like doing it. Consoles I wanted to get rid of. So I made $173 yard selling. This does not include me like going to yard sales. That would be more on the eBay side here, getting materials. But I very rarely got stuff from the yard sales, and I think it'll be the next thing that the next side hustle that I talk about, trying to like go and physically flip stuff that weren't on Facebook Marketplace, but like physically go to a location to try and flip items. Let's just unblock it now, because I think it's going to be the next one. Yeah, there was a period in like 2021 that I went to the flea market near my house, like a half hour away, like every single Saturday morning at like 6:30 a.m. and tried to just, I saw so many like videos on YouTube and like posts on Reddit of like, oh, I went to the local flea market and they were selling like the most rare GameCube video game for $5, and I picked it up and I was able to add it to my collection. I'm just like, you know what? I have eBay already. Let's try and flip it. And it's the same problem that like eBay sellers have now, where it's like people more and more, even at a flea market, which kind of pisses me off. Like the whole point of a flea market should be you just want to get rid of your stuff. But people are more and more like, I know what I have and I'm going to sell it at like eBay prices, even though it doesn't make sense, because if you were to sell on eBay for that price, you would get destroyed with fees. Why would I pay whatever? I can't return it if I bought it at a flea market too. Why would I not pay it on eBay then? But I tried so many weeks to like pick up items from the flea market, and as you can see, $55 in profit. So it did not work out. Yard sales, like I only did one, and this is stuff that I already had around my house. So is it really a side hustle? I consider it, because it's money that I wouldn't have had otherwise if I did nothing and just sat on the objects. So yard sale was nice. It was $173 for like an hour of work, which is hard to beat that rate of return, but obviously you're not going to be able to sell everything in your house. So it's not scalable at all. Flea market, it's like theoretically it's scalable, but yeah, people are just so stingy with what they have now. So good luck. And we are at 23 of 25. The remaining, I don't believe, are anything big ones. This one, again, people might not consider it like a side hustle, but I do, because credit card cashback, there's a lot of people out there who are so irresponsible with their credit card that they can't really treat it as like a cashback machine like I do. So what I do is I treat my credit card like a debit card. So I will charge my credit card for pretty much everything. I very rarely use a debit card. And you should have that mentality if you're smart with your finances, because it's easier to claim fraud activity on a credit card than it is a debit card in case someone steals it. But credit card cashback, what I do, I swipe it, and then the very next day I pay it off. Now, normal sane people pay off their balance every single month at month end, whenever whenever their monthly cycle is, they will just pay the whole balance. I pay it off the very next day because I like to see what is sitting in my checking account at all times, and like I want a true balance. And I feel like if I wait to the end of the month to pay the credit card, it's harder for me to know the true balance. Now, I know it doesn't make much sense because you can see your credit card balance, going up, but I just pay it off the next day. So I treat it like a debit card, and because of that mentality, I'm able to take every single dollar that I get in credit card cash back and apply it to whatever I want. So that's why I treat it like a side hustle, because for me, I'm gonna be spending money on whatever anyway, going out to eat, groceries, gasoline, whatever. So the fact that I'm getting money back for free, for me, is a side hustle. And I could have added stuff to this, like the Fetch app, which is like scanning receipts and getting money back. Ibotta, like those kind of apps. I didn't factor it into that 1324, but I do use them. It's just I've only gotten gift cards, not cash from them, and I think the amount is like $25 I've gotten in gift cards from like Ibotta and Fetch. So they're definitely legit, and you can get legit money. It just takes a long time to get anything, and like it's not going to be anything close to like the credit card cash back that I receive. I have a very good credit card where it's like 4% cash back on gasoline and like 3% groceries, 1% everything else. So I get a decent amount of cash back, especially now that I'm spending a lot more on gasoline in my car. Now, you could argue that like it shouldn't be a side hustle because you got to spend money to get there, but it's true if you want to do that for pretty much any side hustle. So I treat it as side hustle money. That 1324 is free money to me, and I don't put it back like on credit card purchases in the future. I take it and I put it against the principal of the house or dividend investing or something like that. So I treat it as side hustle money. Second to last one is DoorDash. Now, I've done 2 to 3 videos on this channel on DoorDash. I tried it as kind of like an experiment to see how I liked it. So if you're interested in seeing my personal take on DoorDash, you can watch the videos that I have on my channel. I will say a couple DoorDash experiences were terrible, and a couple were pretty fun and enjoyable, and I can see why people do it long term. I'm not in the best location to do DoorDash. It tends to be a more poor area if I wanted to go in the city, so people don't tip, and it's very congested driving, and it's just not worth it. But my rate of return, I believe, was $19.90 an hour. That's not including like gas and maintenance on the car or whatever. But it ended up being like $19.90 an hour. I made $35 off DoorDash. I'm probably not going to do it again unless I get laid off or something like that, and I need work and I need money now. I like the features that DoorDash has to offer for their Dashers, where it's like you can get paid the same day, and you can get like some kind of like insurance coverages if you take it full-time seriously. So I think they do treat their Dashers okay. And there's people who do make like full-time livings off of it. It's just as a side hustle, how much wear and tear do you want to put on your car? How much gasoline are you going to use? Are you able to drive a short distance to do your deliveries? For me and where I'm located, not necessarily as profitable as it could be, so it's not worth it for me, but for plenty of people out there, it is worth it. And the last one that we are going to talk about is Amazon Merch on Demand, where it's like I thought I got denied for this, but then I got accepted of it. And Merch on Demand is you make your own like t-shirts, mugs. You put your own artistic design on a t-shirt or a mug or whatever, a hand purse. There's a whole bunch of pins I think you can do. You give the design, Amazon will automatically like print the t-shirts or whatever it is mug for you and ship it out for you, and then you get commission for every single time it sells. I've only sold one shirt, and I kind of did this as an experiment. I'm not an artist, I'm not a designer, I don't really have any unique designs, and I'm also not in like a niche where I talk about clothing or anything like that, and I don't have like my own brand really. I talk about side hustles and trying to retire early. I'm not going to be like that YouTube sellout that sells like road to retire t-shirts and like, oh, retire early today. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. I feel like you're just preying on your audience at that point, and you lose authenticity. That's why I'll never do crap. What's the website that YouTubers use for like donations every month? I consider it donations, even though they don't. Maybe I'll remember at the end of this video. But merch on demand. I sold one shirt. It just said like "must be nice" because I used to say that all the time in college. Someone bought a tank top. It says "must be nice" with my design on it. It was like blue stripes, and it just said in black like "must be nice." Very simple design. I did it in like 10 minutes, and I put it on there just to see if anything would happen without me like advertising it at all. And someone bought one. It's really cool. Maybe someone will buy one in the future. Who knows? But people make a full-time living doing this kind of stuff. They have tons of designs, but they also like, you have to really do your research, and it's like you have to focus on a specific niche. Like if you're like outdoorsy, you can do a bunch of camping shirts, fishing shirts, hunting shirts, stuff like that. A lot of people have just specialized in certain areas, and they pump out a ton of shirts and mugs and all that kind of crap. And they make almost a full-time. Some people do make a full-time living. I've seen people make like $3,000 to $5,000 a month doing stuff like merch on demand. And is Etsy one of them? There's a bunch of sites that do this kind of stuff where it's like you give them a design, they'll make the t-shirt and make it for you and ship it for you, and you get kickbacks. There's a ton of sites that do it, and people make full-time livings off of it. It's not my thing, and I don't feel like taking the time to do research because I don't think I'll ever master it. And it's also an oversaturated market at this point, in my opinion. So all of the 25 that I've mentioned above total out to $31,950 in side hustle money for my entire life. Now, if I really meant like my entire life, but I count things like shoveling snow on the side, working for a bait shop in 7th grade, I'm sure I could get above like 50 grand. But these are the ones that I would consider actual side hustles, ones that you could start today if you really wanted to. They're not full-time gigs necessarily. You can make some of these full-time gigs, especially stuff like YouTube and the Amazon Influencer Program. But, you know, I hope maybe you learn a new one. Maybe you'll research a new side hustle based on this, or try a different venture. Maybe it inspires you to see how much I made in side hustle money over the years. Now, don't forget, this $31,950, I consider this all post-tax. So I factored in any taxes that I paid on it already. So I probably made over 50K in side hustles. This is just what has hit my, either like the principal in the house, or my dividend investing, or my retirement portfolio. So hopefully this will be a little bit inspirational to you, because 31K post-tax is the equivalent of like $55,000 a year salary. So the whole point of my channel is doing these little side hustles, trying to retire early by paying my house off as soon as physically possible without going broke. So the more and more I can do, like the more side hustles I can do, the more videos I can do, I can help everyone out there, maybe learn a new side hustle. I can't tell you the amount of people that have tried DataAnnotation.tech and Remotasks.com because of my channel. And I thank you so much for using referral links. There is none for data annotation, but all the people that use my Remotasks referral link, thank you so much for using it. I can't tell you the amount of people that have tried it because of my channel. And I know a couple of my commenters have made hundreds to thousands of dollars trying these two websites. I want to try and learn new side hustles and then tell them, tell all the audience here my true actual experience. I don't bullshit on this channel. I tell you whether it's worth it or not. I've had all the videos that I've done on Remotasks. I've told you when it was great, and I told you when the site was absolute dog shit and not worth your time and they were pissing me off. So You're going to get honesty on this channel. And if you're into side hustles and trying to retire early, please subscribe. Thank you so much to everyone out there who has already subscribed and made me reach 10,000 subscribers. It's awesome. I never thought I would get this channel remonetized again, let alone hit 10,000 subscribers, because at the height of like the dividend grinder days, I think I was at like 3,500 subscribers. And when I switched over to side hustles, I probably lost like 1,000 subscribers at the time. So I gained like 7,500 subscribers just from doing this side hustle and the early retirement stuff. Thank you so much for following along the journey. Hope you enjoyed this long video of the 25 side hustles that made me over 30K. It's a bit of a treat for the audience as a thank you gift. I did it all in one shot. Very minimal editing coming, if any at all. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment down below if you do any of these 25 side hustles. Let me know if you want me to cover any more side hustles. I'm very open-minded to new ideas and trying out new things. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much. And I'll see everyone in the next video.